This episode of the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast is brought to you by the Podcast Reach System. Are you ready to exponentially reach more profitable customers? Launching and hosting your own show is your proven best solution for networking, client attraction, and establishing your celebrity expert brand. Visit www.podcastreachsystem.com and claim your rightful place as the leading star of your industry so you make a difference for your community, market, and audience. Welcome to the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast. Join us as we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who reveal what they are doing to make the world a better place by being part of it. Be sure to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, lean in, tune in, get your notepad and 2 pens ready, and let's get started.
My name is Adam Homey, and I am honored by your wise decision to tune in and invest in yourself today. Right now, we are speaking with Victoria Andersen, who is an author and who is the creator of Leap Into Your Story. So she has a bit of an interesting background. She was born and raised in Los Angeles. She grew up in the San Fernando Valley, where she experienced a number of personal, social, and environmental transformational events. Then, later on, while running a successful antique business with her husband, she was guided to move to a town she'd never even heard of before, just outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm not sure if she saw Bugs Bunny when he made his wrong turn, but there you have it. Leaving everything behind, she then moved to the Southwest and began a new life. Currently, she's in central New Mexico with her husband, her cats, and her wildlife that roam through her yard near the Rio Grande River. And when she isn't writing, she's working in her ceramic studio, gardening or hiking ancient Native American petroglyphs near her home. This is somebody who is the definition of what's known as a polymath, somebody with many different skills and many different things they have going with their lives, also a multipreneur. So Victoria, welcome aboard.
Thank you for having me, Adam.
Okay, so for the purposes of our conversation, we can kind of take this wherever you want, but I know some of our listeners are aware of your work with Leap Into Your Story and the work with helping fiction authors find their voice. So the first question I have for you is, how does the work you do make the world a better place for your clients, customers, and the community at large?
Well, I believe everybody has a story to tell. There's a book inside them. And whether it be a fiction story, nonfiction process, memoir, there's something there that you have to offer to someone somewhere in the world that will either inspire, educate, or entertain them.
Right. So what is it? And I know this is a very broad question for you because when we first got to know each other, it took us 2 meetings to figure this one out. What is it that you do?
Well, for the sake of time, I will just narrow it down to my current projects, which is definitely an author with multiple books published, podcasting now to promote the Leap Into Your Story brand to get people thinking about the story within them, writing coach to walk through the process if they need to, and of course, the very recent is I'll be launching some course creations.
Great. So in your experience, what are a few of the frequently asked questions you get from folks who are going through their process of making their decision to work with you?
I'd have to say the top 3, most definitely the first of the top 3 is, how do I start writing? I don't know where to begin. I could feel it within me, but I don't know where to start. So the bottom line, I'm going to steal Nike's slogan, just do it. And I mean, that's it. Just get the gears, get the process in motion. The next one is, how do I find time? That's usually the one that comes up, and I think this is mainly tied into the first one. So if you don't know how to start, you don't know how to process that time into your schedule. So, I always say start with 2 minutes. I've spent most of my adult life in call centers, and although, it's kind of a monotonous work, that had always been a good training. That 2 minutes is actually a lot of time. And what I've done, and I know it's helped others, is to start with 2 minutes. Believe it or not, you can get a lot accomplished 2 minutes a day. And
Yeah.
most definitely. And then the last, I think, is they're worried about who's going to read with, what I write. How do I know somebody's going to like it? Well, you know what? Everything's a gamble. It's just about finding the right people who have an interest in what you want to write, what your message is, and how they can apply it to better their life one way or another.
Great. So what are a few questions you wish people would ask?
This is a great question. I have to say that I wish they would at least ask me questions that shows that they have done some research about me and what I do, to see if they're committed. I think if they show me that they've put in the time, there's going to be a better connection versus somebody just window shopping. So I'd have to say, if they ask me questions that they showed that they've done some research and not a fly-by-night interest. The next one is, my why. When I make decisions, I'm always finding out, why is this person doing? What is their motivation? I like when people ask me that as well, because it provides a deeper level of understanding that shows that they have a different interest in you. It's just a better conversation, deeper level, deeper connection. And that's kind of what you want when you're interacting with, whether it be your clients, your students who are taking your courses, writing a book. You can tell a lot by the questions people ask you. And then I would have to say questions who show that they've really done their research on who I am, not just my products or my brand, but who I am. As you know, I'm a multi-preneur, so womanpreneur.
Right.
And if you search online, you're not only going to find that I'm an author, podcaster, but I'm also a licensed realtor in the state of New Mexico. You're going to find my ceramic brand, Victoria. As you noticed on my Facebook, it's VYKTORYA. And that is not my birth name, but it's actually my artistic brand for the career that I've had as a international ceramic artist. Because not everybody who provides you money is going to be a customer or client. And it's a mutual trust and value. I want them to know the whole assortment of who I am before they reach out to me for, say, coaching.
Great. Yeah. Wow. So we're about halfway through here. And since we are at the halfway mark, this is where we switch gears a little bit, or switch the wagons, as the case may be, and have a little bit of fun. So now we get to discover a bit about Victoria as a person. What would people who know you, perhaps including me, because we know each other pretty well, be surprised to learn about you? So let's see if you can shock me after going on a year of me knowing you.
Well, that is quite a list. But I have to say that probably not too many people know this, as well as family members know this little fun fact about me. I was selected to be Miss Betty Crocker of 1985. So,
Wow,
yeah, I
that
was.
is a shock.
And Betty Crocker wanted to revamp their older image from the 40s or 50s. They wanted a contemporary look. The marketing company that I worked with submitted my photo, and I was selected out of 5,000 entries. But something went a little haywire. Because, as you know, they no longer have a face on her. It's just a brand. Because when I applied for the marketing position, my recruiter realized I was not old enough to work. So she put a different date on my application. So
Oh
Betty
boy.
Crocker was not real happy. They thought they were dealing with somebody who was 18, but they wanted me. They tried to assure my parents, to be the custodians. And my parents did not want my face on billboards, cake boxes, magazines. They just felt like that would be too much prostituting my image.
Wow. I was getting ready to ask you, where's the link to the commercial? Because at this point, almost every commercial has shown up on YouTube one way or the other. If I find the right stuff, I can relive my childhood.
Yes, but they went with number 2 and it wasn't so successful. So they scrapped the whole campaign and just left the Betty Crocker name and not the image.
Wow.
That was because of me, just like.
Wow. Gee, thanks. No, I'm kidding. So what do you hope people say about you when you're not around to hear it?
Wow. That's a good question too. Well, I hope they'll be talking about how I inspire them to take more chances, say yes, and have them try something that they never thought about doing before, and they liked it.
Yeah. If you could go back in time and change something you've experienced or something you've done, what would it be and why?
I think I would encourage myself, if I had to go back and talk to my younger self, is to stick with the writing, no doubt. Everything I've done professionally, even personally, has all been tied to writing. And I think I realized that I have that ability that's pretty darn good, a little bit too late, but not impossible. As you see, I don't let things get in my way. If I want to do them, I don't look at age, circumstances. I'll just keep doing it. However, I think if I had to go back and talk to my younger self, I would definitely say, you need to take your writing more seriously. It's going to bring you to great places, great memories, great people.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the time.
Yeah. Speaking of going back or going places, what famous person, alive or dead, would you like to meet? And if you had the opportunity to do so, what question would you have for them?
Wow. Yeah, I'm going to think about this one. There's a lot of folks that I would like to in various mediums. But I have to say, probably the one that I would have loved to talk to, but he's no longer here, is Scatman John. I don't know if you remember his song. He kind of had like a weird, goofy little tune that he started when he was 53. He had always been in the background, and he had a terrible stutter. And I think in his 50s, he just realized, instead of looking at the stutter as something negative, he turned it into something positive with his goofy song. He worked with the stutter and made him something that he had always been ashamed of or, self-conscious about, he turned it into a #1 song. And I think if more people think about doing that like he did, and of course, I'm sure if he had to go back and ask himself, to have that conversation, he'd probably be having the same conversation. Don't let those obstacles stop you. But unfortunately, I'm sure I know what his motivation was, that 4 years later, he passed away from lung cancer. So
Wow.
I'm sure that the mortality said, what is he going to, I only have so many more years to live. What do I have to lose? What if I
Exactly.
what if I stink? But
I gotcha.
or what if I'm great, as he found out? And I think more people, maybe if there's a message in that, is don't wait until something catastrophic compels you. Even if you have to do it as a side hustle, just do it. Again, stealing Nike's phrase, just do it.
Yeah. All right. So we're coming near the top here. We just have a couple more things I want to go over with you here. One of which is what motivates and inspires you to keep going when you're having a tough time or facing a challenge.
Well, that could be daily. Sometimes minutely. I think I have realized that problems are just temporary most of the time. But when you stop with a passion, it takes harder to regain your momentum. You can really roll through a problem, and my thing is, if it isn't burning down, being killed, or being injured, it can wait. And I still just keep on every day. I make sure that I don't let obstacles stop me. And if it's writing a book idea, editing, or even I'm going to make sure there's some energy applied, even through the mess, because I want the momentum.
Great. So finally, I know you have a little something for our listeners, and I will share that with them. But in general, right now, what is one thing that you would recommend our listeners do as soon as they finish streaming this episode today?
I would say the one thing I would recommend right now for those who are interested in leaping into their story is start with a journal. So, journals are great. I guess they provide an avenue. If you don't have any means to express anything or have everything ready, you can look at your thoughts, your inspirations, your frustrations, go back, and then also use that. Say if you're a coach, find those things that you have proven or think that can help. Formulate some books, or start with what you know. All fiction writers will tell you, start what you know. So if you're nonfiction, look for the tidbits that inspire you and you've helped others or tested them on others. I'm a big fan of trying things out. I won't promote anything unless I've tried it out on somebody else other than myself. But, the journal is a great way to tap in fiction ideas, memoir ideas, how to solve world problem ideas. And it gives you a record of just reminding you how much you can progress. You look back a couple months and go, whew.
Exactly. So that's great. And thank you so much for joining us today. Now, before everybody leaves, if you're watching the video version of this on our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com, you now see it on your screen, but I will read it out loud for those who are out jogging right now. Go to www.leapintoyourstory.com/gifts. You can see it on your screen. If you are looking at this on our website, you can see it in the show notes. It's www.leapintoyourstory.com/gifts. And this will take you to claim your 100% free access to Victoria's groundbreaking new mini course called Overcoming 5 Hidden Things Holding You Back from Your Writing. Now, I've seen this one personally, and I can tell you it's really good. It only takes a few minutes. It's very concise, and it comes full of actionable suggestions you can use to overcome fears and obstacles and turn them into strengths. And it also gives you some resources that will help you leap into your story as a writer. So with that, Victoria, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an honor, and believe me, in education.
Yes, I'm glad. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for tuning into the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who are making a difference for their community, market, and audience. Remember to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast.